Yeah, and it says, and God said unto Moses, I am that I am, and he said thus, say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you, right? And so,
we the Hebrew Israelites, we just break down the truth. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We're the actual Israelites and the God's chosen people. The way we can tell is by the curses. So in the Bible, it speaks about the curses that will be put on the Israelites. I'm Kadash.
Pranay, Kadash.
Yeah. So you can tell who the Lord's chosen people is by the curses that was put on them because we follow the Lord. We fit those curses more than anybody. What's your background?
Attachments. I think I got baptized, but I didn't get baptized as a kid. So those attachment strongholds can follow you. You know what I mean?
What's your nationality, like your race? To your father's side.
I'm lost.
You don't know what would they call you, like on your birth certificate or when you fill out an application? What would you say? What would you guess?
do you know your
Puerto
father?
Rican.
No, my dad died. He was barely in my life. I had a stepdad, which he was dealing from murder acts.
Well, we asking you, we trying to figure out, so that way, that's how we can discern which one of these tribes.
White and black, and
so your dad was black?
My dad was black, yeah.
Black? Okay, so it goes by the seed. You are whatever the seed is, right? You take a sunflower seed, you plant it in the forest, you plant it in the desert, whatever comes out is still a sunflower, right? So it's just like with a man. You can plant your seed in any type of woman, any race of woman. You are what that seed is. You see what I'm saying? So you would be what your father is. If your father was so-called black man, that would make you an Israelite. Probably. We say probably because it's just rough. We put the pieces together to get the full puzzle, but he would be from the tribe of Judah. And the Lord was from the tribe of Judah. So our message is simple. It's like we tell our people we got to wake up. We got to come together, right? Because that's where we get our power. We at the bottom because we're disorganized and we don't come together to fight against each other. You know what I'm saying? So once we come together and we come back to our Lord, then we will get power and be See, all these other nations, they work together and they compete against the other nations. See what I'm saying? We at the bottom because we compete against each other. We're supposed to come together. So once we follow the law, statutes, and commandments of our Lord, the Lord will give us power. He will come back and save us. So we were brung here to this place. Like our money got the face of the people that took us in slavery. We use that money for everything: electricity, power, food, to feed your kids, anything. Right? So we got to use money of the people that took us in slavery to get any and everything that we could possibly get here in America. We still under the laws of the people that took our people in slavery. So imagine the so-called Jewish guy that's not the real ones, we the real ones. Imagine them still being under Hitler to this day, under the laws. They money still having, Hitler in their face on their money. That's the position that the black Americans, Latinos, and Native Americans, because, we were on ships, but Latinos and Native Americans were on ships too. We were in cotton fields. Latinos, Native Americans were in tobacco fields. They were in gold mines. They got their land to the Trail of Tears, that Indian, right? It's something called the Trail of Tears. When they made them migrate, and a lot of them died. It's the gold rush. When they were taking land that they had peace treaties with Native Americans, but they had renege on their peace treaties, and they had come take the land just because it was gold there. And then they would force them out. New Mexico was a part of Mexico. Texas was a part of Mexico. All of California was a part of Mexico. Shit, even some states in the Midwest was a part of Mexico. How did America get them? Did they buy them? Did they do a deal for them? They got them by force, man. They took them. You see what I'm saying?
They said the state of Texas, it was like two people had just wrote some shit on a piece of paper stating Texas is now a lone state or some shit like that, they just claimed it. So it was two random white dudes with a piece of paper, just wrote some shit on it and took Texas just like that.
And then, even when you look here in Springfield, Illinois, there was a race riot here. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a big race riot here because black Americans and the white Americans wanted the black Americans to stay in their place. Because we had a lot of black Americans coming from the southern states. They was moving up north, right? Because they were trying to get away from that slavery and stuff down south. So they was moving up north and they was having a little bit better life. But the white Americans here, they didn't like that. They wanted blacks to stay in their place, which is the same thing today. It really ain't changed because if you look at the wage gap, the average black family makes $19,000. The average white family makes $190,000. You know what I'm saying? So 10 times more.
Yeah.
So it really ain't changed. So the question is why are we in this position? You know what I mean? Why are we at the bottom, right? But the answer to that is because we went into a covenant with our Lord. We want to get that Deuteronomy 28. We went into a covenant with our Lord. And our Lord said, look, if you do this and you keep my law, statutes, commandments, right? Don't hate your brother, right? Don't steal from your brother because he don't want to kill you. Don't kill your brother. Don't commit adultery because if you commit adultery and have sex with his wife, he's going to want to try to kill you. So these are good laws, man. A dietary law, this is what's going to keep you healthy. The Lord said, if you keep these laws, you're going to be blessed with everything. You're going to be kings on the earth. The Lord created the earth for us. And he set us on top, man. That's why, like, even with us being at the bottom, you see all nations around the world, they steal stuff from us. Hip-hop. You see what I'm saying? We determine what's cool or not. Even though we at the bottom, everybody has to get everything from us. We really build America.
Those Nikes, those Nikes you got on right there, they had been around for like, I don't know, just roughly paraphrasing for about 10 years, but they wasn't selling like that. Like I think like they average yearly earning was like real low. But then when they signed Jordan to shoot deal, they shit took off. So it's just going
It's all with us. Yep. Whatever we say cool, like a lot of the inventions that the world used today actually came from slaves. We just wasn't getting credit for it. Because the master would take the credit for it. You see what I'm saying? We really invented that shit. You know, it's the Native Americans' land and the blacks, the first stock on Wall Street was slaves. Black slaves. That was the first stock on Wall Street. Wall Street is everything for this place. The stock market. The stock market go down, everything else go down. All your banks, everything go down. And the first stock on there was black slaves. You see how that works? So everything is built off the back of us. Even though we at the bottom, but the Lord said we are the salt of the world. We give the world flavor. They take all our flavor. So we just trying to get back to that place that we're supposed to be in. Because we sinned against the Lord, he brought judgment against us. Not that they were stronger than us, or it's not even that they were smarter than us. It's just that the Lord blessed them with the sword to come up against them. He used them to spank us because we were sinning against our Lord. So that's why we out here telling our people, man, you got to repent, follow the Lord, because once we come together and follow the Lord as a people, then the Lord going to give us that power back.
What was our sins? What we been doing?
I'm going to read it to you right now.
Everything.
I'm going to read it to you right now. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15.
You want to get it from like verse 1 to show the blessing?
Yeah.
How it says, if you bless here.
Okay, it say, Deuteronomy 28, verse 1, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord will set thee on high above all the nations on earth.
Did he say equal to all the nations? He said we're going to be above all of them.
Verse 2, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Right? Then we're going to jump to verse 15. And now we're going to jump to verse 15 where it's going to explain, but if we don't, this is going to have verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field, cursed shall thy basket and thy store. Where you want me to read that? Just keep going?
Yeah, we're going to keep going. We're going to go through the curses so you can feel it. So like it says, cursed shall we be in the city. Let's break it down. Right. Who's cursed in the city? We've already talked about the wage gap. You know, on the east side, they live in a certain type of way. On the west side, they live in a certain... We see the difference. So we the ones cursed in the city. We live in the ghettos, which is crazy. If you look up the word ghetto, it says it's a place where the Jews dwell. So it's giving you an insight of who the real Jews are, man. And it's saying that our identity will be stolen from us. The nations will come together. They steal our land. They will steal our identity. The Bible tells you who's in the land and who has possession of the land right now. Straight out the Bible. It tells you who they are. They're not the true people, man. Because if they was the true people and the true people was in the land, then it would be peace all over. Because that's the prophecy that's going to happen. When the Lord come back, he's going to take the children of Israel, and not just one tribe, like they say. He's going to take all tribes, Native Americans, Latinos, blacks, and he's going to bring us all back to the land. And then it's going to be judgment on the other nations, but the world's going to be way more beautiful because you ain't going to have pollution. You ain't going to have fires coming from Canada. You ain't going to have all that bullshit happening. You see what I'm saying? Because we're going to run the world. The true rulers are going to be back in power.
Verse 18. Cursed shall be...
They said cursed shall be in the field. We were literally cursed in the field, the cotton fields.
Cursed shall be thy fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep.
Who does this match up with? Let's keep going.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. Is talking about your seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's gonna carry on generation throughout generations. Like, just like you. Like, I'm pretty sure your dad been called a nigger before or something like that. I'm pretty sure you have too. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes on for seed after seed after seed.
And then when you look at Planned Parenthood, you know the stats. You know, so that's literally being cursed. Abortions. You know, our people deal with that big time. And we got that on us heavy.
Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
You know, these other people, they ain't cursed when they come in and say you can come out. Or even if you just look at it on the lower end, your house. They not cursed. Well, we see the curses on us, so that's how we can tell who the Israelites is.
Yeah, and it don't matter where you go. You might have people say, well, I'm tired of Illinois. I'm finna leave Springfield. I'm gonna move to Atlanta. I mean, the curses gonna follow you there.
Yeah, it's just like the Mexicans that's coming across the border to come to America, right? Because they living on this false prophet, you know, they say, like, you know, this the land of the free, they can come here and be rich. But then when they come here, they still poor, and they realize, man, this place worse than go home. When they come across the border, because I've been there, so I know how it is there. So I say they live bad there, they live poor there, and then they come here, and then they still live poor, but they went off the American dream. They thought that the American dream was never for us, though.
Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thy hand unto do, until thou be destroyed and until thou perish quickly.
Yeah, you know, Martin Luther King tried to save us, didn't work. Malcolm X tried, didn't work. And a lot of other revolutionaries tried, didn't work. Everything we tried to do and we tried to set our hand to, it never worked. Every time we try to get wealth, every time we try to build something, it never worked for us.
Black Wall Street.
Going against the Lord, yeah, Black Wall Street.
So how would you not go against it?
By following his commandments. Let's get the fucking order. Jump to like verse, let's jump around a little bit so we can get straight to the point. Jump to verse 25.
Alright, give him a big old kiss on the cheek.
Alright, let me see. Verse 31. Just jumping around. And do Mark 28.
Oh, yeah. I'm here. Verse 31. It say, thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from thee. Taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemy, and thou shalt have none to rescue. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
So it says our sons and our daughters should be given to another people. When did that happen? Slavery. It says there should be no might in your hand. We couldn't do nothing about it. We had the strongest man, but they was breaking them. Ain't nothing we could do because we sinned against the Lord. You see what I'm saying?
And it was the Spirit of the Lord that had it to where no matter how strong you was, you still was getting overtook by the oppressor.
Yeah,
it
Nat
was the
Turner.
Spirit of the
You see
Lord.
what Nat Turner did? And they used Nat Turner to read the Bible to try to control the slaves. But Nat Turner started reading the Bible. He realized what we realized, that we are the Israelites, and that they in the wrong for stealing land and stealing the people, putting people in slavery. And what Nat Turner do? He started putting them to death. But even with him doing that, he still got God at the end. You see what I'm saying? He hung him at the end, skinned him, all types of things.
Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
We ain't know them, so they came and took all this stuff.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
And what do you see today? We still oppressed and crushed in 2023. Keep going.
So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore box that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. Verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou have other gods, wood and stone.
Keep going. So who this? I mean, you know, a lot of Latinos, they literally worship wood and stone because they worship crosses and shit like that. So, I mean, who does this fit? Who would be the number one? You got a list of people on earth, different nations on earth. Who would this fit more than anybody?
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations.
So just take the blacks. We are like astonishment, man. And keep going.
Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee, thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall come consume. Then thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but thou shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them.
It's just saying our hard work, other people benefit off of it. Other people become millionaires, billionaires off of it. We do all this hard work, right? But we don't really benefit off of it. All the Black Americans, Latinos, and Native Americans stop working today, this place will collapse. You see what I'm saying? All we got to do is stand up. You want to jump to the last verse?
Just the last couple verses.
Yeah, what's that? 68? Yeah, 68.
I'm gonna start at 64.
Yeah, finish it up.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth unto even the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, so did he say that we would still be in the land and we would have an iron dome protecting us, that America's giving us weapons and protecting us? Did it say that? No, it said we would be scattered. So we know that ain't the true people. You see what I'm saying? Yes, you going.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have any rest.
They got ease in Israel because they got their own nation, they got sovereignty, and they got weapons of mass
They get
destruction.
millions of dollars. They get billions of dollars donated from America to Israel every year just because they Israel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like no type of reason for it or nothing. It's just it's sent to them.
Yep, crazy.
A trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have no assurance of thy life.
Yeah, because when a black man go out into the street, you don't know if you're gonna make it home. You might just be driving in your car, not doing anything. Police might pull you over and put you to death and shoot you in the middle of the street. Your own brother might shoot you and kill you, just rob you at a gas station or something. So you really don't know if to be a black man is scary, man. You go out there into the world, you don't fucking know if you're gonna make it home or not. You don't know. Anything can happen at any time.
Verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So when you look up the word Egypt, it just means bondage. That's what Egypt means. I get it.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
Right, this is Exodus 20, verse 2. It says, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So when the Israelites came out of Egypt with Moses, it was prophesied that we would never return back there as slaves again. So when he talking about Egypt right here, he's just talking about bondage. You're going to go into captivity again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
So with ships, who went into bondage and slavery on ships?
And there ye shall be sold unto the enemy, for bond men and bond women, and no man shall buy it.
So when we went into slavery on ships, we went to a place where we were sold into our enemies. Bond man, bond woman means slave man, slave woman, and no man shall buy us, meaning no man shall redeem us or save us. So Martin Luther King tried to buy us, meaning he tried to save us. It didn't work. Malcolm X tried to save us. It didn't work. And many more guys. And then you got gangsters, like you got like the GDs and Bloods and Crips, which originally was organizations that helped. Then they turned gangsters, trying to follow after the mafia and stuff like that. And they couldn't do nothing for us too. So you got Larry Hoover in jail. You know, he tried to organize in like a lot of their literature of those gangs. Where do you think their literature comes from? The Bible. You should not do this, you should not do that. Really a lot of laws that Esau got, Esau is just a white man in the Bible, that's his biblical nationality. It comes from the Bible. The old horoscope shit, you got 12 different horoscopes, 12 different tribes. They all come from the Bible. Your president, he swears in on the Bible. You go to court, you gotta raise your right hand to the Bible. 9 times out of 10, any hotel room you get is gonna have a Bible in it. You know, so we just trying to tell our people we gotta come back to the Bible. The Bible runs the world, but our people don't want to follow it. What a major disadvantage that put us at. Everybody else is in the Bible, reading the Bible, learning and studying. So we got to come back to the Bible. So you said, how do we get on the Lord's good side? How do we get the blessing?
because we was who it was made for. All the prophets of old were Israelites.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Every one of them. It's not one prophet in the Bible that wasn't an Israelite from one of these tribes.
Yep. And ain't that crazy? All the disciples, look at their background. They were all Israelites by blood. All the prophets, Israelites by blood. This is Deuteronomy 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. For the Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people, but because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, has the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, and from the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. So just like the Lord took us out of Egypt, he didn't say the Egyptians, he destroyed them. The Lord gonna come and take us out of this place, which is Mystery Babylon in the Bible. He gonna come for his people. Not all people, but for the Israelites, these tribes. And he gonna destroy the other people, just the same way it happened in Egypt. This gonna be the second Exodus, and we gonna go back to our chosen land, and we gonna dwell there in safety, and it's gonna be like a paradise to us. But because what the other nations did to us, they got a judgment coming from. What happened to us gotta happen to them. Until you get that
Revelation.
Yeah, Revelations 13, like verse 7. You got any questions?
Yeah, I got a question. So you guys be out here every day, or
We be out here once a week, Sunday, today, around 11 a.m.
I'll be here every day? Y'all guys,
Every Sunday.
I guys doing good.
Yeah, man, come out here and, talk with us. We appreciate it, just learn more. Any questions you got, come out here and ask.
Yeah, man, because you an Israelite. You're supposed to be doing what we doing.
It's crazy I gotta say unfortunate, because like right now I'm with this white girl, or I'm not with her no more, but she'll be on some narcissistic, or say she'll bring up abortion or try to get her way, and
I got a scripture for you. I'm gonna show you why you deal with that, because I've been through it too. I got a kid by Edomite. You know what I'm saying? Well, this was before I was in the truth. I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? But this a scripture that'll let you kind of understand why, even though you're sleeping with this woman, you would think y'all supposed to have this emotional connection, why she is still turned on you within a blink of an eye.
It's just what it is, The Lord created different nations and he separated them, So we're not all supposed to be mixed up together like this. Because when that happens, you see what happens. We at the bottom, somebody gonna be at the top. They're not gonna give away their power to us. So anytime we start getting a little power, here come a natural disaster. Here comes some shit that they planned to shut down so they can take the power back. So that's how this shit
This
works.
is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So you can always count on, because they are enemies. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at the history of us and white people, we always been going at it. We've been in slavery, wars, oppression. So they are natural born enemies. It says never trust them. That goes for the women too, the kids, all of that. Never trust thy enemy. For as iron rusted, like you leave iron out in the rain, it's gonna rust for sure. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with a white person, they're gonna expose their wickedness for sure, no matter what. It's gonna always happen.
Can you get more of that? Yeah, start at that verse. Because it's
verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst white and looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
right, because they humbled themselves when they came over here. The Pilgrims, that's where you get Thanksgiving and shit from. It's really Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? Because the Native Americans ain't thankful for y'all coming over here, killing all they people, committing genocide and taking their land. But what did they do? They humbled themselves to get clothes. We need help. You need to, teach us the land, feed us, help us and stuff. Let's trade some things. I watch this.
Even with the holiday that's coming up, the 4th of July, they tricked the slaves into helping them fight the Vietnamese war. Wasn't the Vietnamese war? They was losing too. And then they promised them 40 acres and a mule.
They was fighting against the British.
Yeah, the British. You know what I'm saying? They were fighting against the British. They promised them because they was losing. And they convinced the slaves to help them.
Yep.
And if they helped them, they was going to take them out of slavery and give them 40 acres and a mule.
It wouldn't be no America.
Exactly.
The black Negro slaves, we had to go fight, and they was putting us on the front line. Whoever on the front line died first.
Yeah.
They was putting us on the front line. We won the war for them. But they promised us, hey, we're going to give you, you're going to become free men. and we're gonna give you the 40 acres, and they didn't. They never gave it to them. So now today in 2023, we're trying to get reparations. They still don't want to give it.
This is verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
What happened with Native Americans? They took their place literally. Now there's a such thing as Americans, Caucasian Americans. You see what I'm saying? So they let them too close. They trusted their enemy, and then they took everything from them. And now this land is federally governed. The whole United States is under federal from the United States. Well, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took the whole land. This is the land of the United States now. You know what I'm saying? Put them on fucking reservations, which is really like ghettos too. So.
And they'll be quick to tell you, go back to Africa.
Go back to fucking Europe, man. This ain't your land.
Yeah.
This ain't your fucking land. But they pretty much look at it as they land now.
Because
They took it.
that's what they be doing over in Europe, killing each other. They come to black people want to kill.
Take the land. They took us too, shit. Well, our wives, rape our wives, all types of shit.
Yup.
And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, and any such as come nigh wild beasts?
So it's like you put those wicked ass nations around you when you get bit by them, like in your situation. It really on you because you got to know who they are. You got to know their spirit. Don't fuck with them.
And it's like God tells you before you even get into it, but you just want to ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you might bump into an Edomite person, Esau, and he might seem just like the coolest person in the world. You know what I'm saying? He might just be cool, social. I mean, can converse with you real well. He might come off to you as a good-hearted person, and then put in a situation when y'all both riding in the car and the police pull y'all over, or some shit like that happen, or y'all get blamed. Alleged of doing some type of crime, and then he flip on you.
He always gonna switch on you.
Always gonna flip.
He can be as nice as possible, but at some point in time, he gonna switch on you. Especially if he get around more of his people, you always see the switch up. Like, damn, I thought we was friends. Now that all the rest of these white boys are here, you taking their side on shit. He always gonna switch on you. Keep going. It's a bit more.
So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Verse 15, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit.
Right, so they speak sweetly with their lips, especially when they first got over into the land with the Native Americans, but in their heart the whole time they was thinking, we finna take all this land, this gonna be our land, we finna take all the resources, all the food, all the land, we finna take them in slavery, take their woman, but they come with like a sweet tongue, like, hey, we can be friends, we're pilgrims, help us. That's the same thing they do in Africa. When they go to those different African nations and stuff, they always come with, we trying to help you guys. But in reality, they planning on how to take the resources and take the land and take it over. So we gotta be aware of those things. We gotta learn from what our ancestors went through. You know, you had a lot of Native Americans that was trading on their people and stuff like that, selling out. We gotta learn from those mistakes. It's shut down if it start raining.
He will weep with his eyes, but
Mind if I get one of y'all numbers?
You got phone, Facebook?
Yes.
Here, you can look up the channel or
I know y'all don't want to be out here while I was like this. I only got a ring with something good.
give on the